5, 4,
No,
3,
we did
2.
this. We already got past this part.
What do you, have you never seen iCarly?
Now we're
We've had,
actually in it.
we've had this conversation already.
Have I seen iCarly?
Because the first episode of the season, it started off with me singing the theme song. I know you see, and now I'm doing a
Oh,
callback.
that's right. That's right. And then we had to do the non copyrighted version of that song.
Yeah. See,
Do they keep bringing that show back, but with people that are older now? Like it's the same actors, but they're like older.
they did. I know they're lately they've been bringing back a lot of shows that were from our childhood, but like they're older. Like the iCarly came back. I forgot what I think it's still called iCarly. Um, that show came back for a little bit. That's So Raven came back as Raven's home when she's an adult and has kids, and I think she's married. I
Wow.
can't remember. But like they've been slowly bringing back old shows. It's like when Cartoon Network brings back their old cartoons, but then they modernize it and make them little chibi people, like Teen Titans Go.
Oh yeah, okay. I'm familiar with that at least.
Yeah, it's kind of like that, but instead of making them animated, they just make them, oh, they're all adults now. Or
Yeah,
they'll be
that's
like, I mean, it's not the first time they did it because I know Disney made Girl Meets World, which is supposed to be the sequel to Boy Meets World, where it's about the main character's children.
man. If there's one way you can make your audience feel old, it's by releasing a sequel using the main actor's children.
Yeah. Well, not the actor's children, but the character's children. Sorry.
Right, canonically.
Yeah, yeah,
Canonically
yeah,
their
yeah.
children. Well, actually, this is a fairly sad week, you know. A very important
A
person.
couple of very important people,
A
actually.
couple. Who else is? Okay, well, I guess we should start with Akira Toriyama. He has
Yeah,
passed away. The creator of Dragon Ball Z and
passed
a
away a
lot
week
of other
ago.
things that I did
A
not
lot of
know he
other
was involved
things.
with.
He had a lot of he took a part of a lot of things. He offered artwork for a lot of people. He was a part of like the storytelling of a lot of things. Like this man literally shaped so much. He grandfathered so many anime.
Yeah, I'm seeing Dragon Quest, Chrono Trigger. Not sure what Blue Dragon is, but I'm sure that's awesome.
I mean, they used his or not they used, but he gave them he basically designed a lot of shit for that show or that
Yeah,
series.
that's impressive.
Yeah,
Early work and
he is
Doctor
a
Slump.
man.
Good good
That's
name.
my favorite anime. Well, favorite manga, I should say.
The old Doctor
Oh,
Slump.
yeah. I liked his old stuff because it was when he didn't have to worry about an editor and he could just do what he wanted and he just liked to have silly little fun time.
Oh, yeah, yeah. That's a really he's got a real meet cute with Kodansha's weekly shonen magazine.
Yeah.
23, he quit his job. He randomly picked up a shonen magazine when he was in a coffee shop.
Hmm.
There was a contest inside of there, but he didn't actually see it in time, so he went over to Shonen Jump. Kodansha kind of got screwed there.
Hmm. Who would have known?
Who would? So who else died? Who
Oh,
you
right.
texted me about this guy? I didn't know who else is important that died here.
Earlier this week, or I guess the same week, the creator of the Backyardigans passed away.
What? Wait,
Yeah.
the backyard. Okay, I've seen a few of these episodes. This was slightly after my time.
Yeah, no, that's fair. It was something that I didn't grow up with, but I watched as I grew up, if that makes any sense at all.
You talking about Janice Burgess?
I think that's her name. I'm kind of
Janice
a fake
Burgess. She
fan.
did die March 2nd. Wow.
Hmm.
What?
Yeah.
How did you find out about this lady
I
getting?
found out everything from Twitter.
Ah, I see.
Yeah.
Wow, that sucks. I
It
actually
just,
genuinely did. I think the Backyardigans was one of those that had like really good musical numbers. Isn't that right?
oh, absolutely. They had amazing musical numbers. That's the one where they did obviously the theme song. There's International Super Spy. Oh my gosh, what other ones are there? They had a lot. They had a lot. And it's not canonical, but it's basically canonical in the black community that most of those characters are black.
Well, that would make
So
sense. She herself is black.
Correct. I'm also black.
Fascinating. Well, congratulations. It's not your month anymore, man. You can't keep bringing that up.
Oh,
Stop
that's
taking the
fair.
spotlight away from the women.
I'm sorry. It is Women's History Month now.
That is true. Actually, I think it was just women's, not birthday,
Women's,
Women's Day or something like that. International Women's
yeah.
Day.
I think it was on Thursday or Friday. Yeah.
Friday. That was yesterday. Yep.
Oh.
To date
Well,
this
happy
show
celebration to
immediately.
the
Yep.
women.
Yes.
Um,
Congratulations to everybody.
I'm so happy for you. Women in STEM, we love you. Women in power, we also love you.
Yep. We can celebrate issues such as gender equality, reproductive rights, and violence and abuse against women.
Hell yeah.
Celebrate might not be the right word, but
Yeah, yeah. I feel like, yeah. Yeah.
the
But
sentiment's still
yes,
there.
like we said in the last episode, go find the woman in your life and give them a hug, even if they
Right.
don't want it.
Yeah,
Oh
we
boy.
for Women's Day we went to go and see Dune 2. I don't know if you've seen Dune
Oh,
2, but it's a
I have
solid. I don't
not.
know. What have you seen the first Dune?
Yeah, I saw the first one. I
Okay,
didn't
okay.
really understand it. I was never really big into that. My mom loved the original Dune series though, but I didn't know anything about it. I think I saw it with you.
Original Dune series as in the books or like the original like movies that they came out with?
I think she had the movie, or she had the movies. I don't know if she had the books.
Okay, okay. I don't remember how many iterations there have been, but all
Hmm.
I know is that the book is like 896, something like that, 900 pages.
Jeez.
So I don't know if I'm ever actually gonna be able to read that. Maybe when I
I
retire.
mean, you've read like all of the Lord of the Rings, haven't you?
Not really. I've read the
S-
first two,
So
and
you're a
then
fake fan.
yes, and then I've listened to the first one on audiobook, and then I've listened to the half of the second one on audiobook. The third book I think is the longest, and so I just haven't actually. I don't even think I own the books. I think they were my dad's copy.
Hmm.
Yeah, I don't. I got the box set though. The
Dang, you guys
DVD the
suck.
the DVD box set. Hell yeah, I do. Wait a second.
Listen, go off, I guess.
Yep. We've
See,
been
here's the thing.
yeah.
I don't read.
Ever? At all? How'd you make it through
S-
college?
Uh, I read Spark Notes. That's all I can read.
Right. Oh, that's fair. That's fair. I can only read them if they have at the top shortened version of the actual notes.
Listen, I will literally spend more time trying to find like, or I did, I should say, I spent more time trying to find like the Spark Notes or like the Quizlet or like answers to the test. This is to the people listening that are involved in the school board. This is all a lie. It's all storytelling and false. But I spent more time looking online for like summaries and shit than I did actually reading it, and it would have taken less time to actually read it.
See, what this sounds like to me is it's a testament to intelligence. Because really, there's like two ways, right? There's two ways to
Hmm.
go through school, and that's the hard way, which is
Yeah.
like you study your books, you like take your notes and all this stuff, and then you study
Disgusting.
your notes, and then you take the tests, and you go like, ah, nuts. I mean, I did all the work, and I still got like a 95 because there was like a trick question. And then there's those that you know don't do that. Find
Yeah.
Spark Notes online, borrow other people's notes because they didn't actually go to the class, or maybe who knows. They find a way. Nature finds a way,
Nature does find a
and
way.
it's a different form of intelligence. It really is.
I agree with you. Not because that's what I did, but I agree with you. It's like it's like when you're growing up, right? And you do something and you get caught doing it. There's two options. You don't do it again, or you find a way to not get caught.
Yes, you learn from your mistake. That's what I'm having to do with my dog. She
Uh-oh.
she knows she's not supposed to do something. Well, okay, I have two dogs, right? One of them
Hmm.
knows she's not supposed to do it and can't physically do some of the stuff that the smaller dog can. And so she doesn't.
Yeah.
But the smaller dog, she knows she's not supposed to. And we know she knows because every time we catch her breaking the law, she like she's like, "Oh, I gotta get out of here, man!" And she takes off like, "Oh, I'm about to get my ass whooped," or whatever actually is gonna happen to that dog.
Yeah.
She knows, man. That's yeah. I
Dogs
don't
are
know.
smart.
I forget exactly where I fell. I think I'm actually like a 50-50, to be honest, on the hardworking into kind of like using natural intelligence to get through.
Yeah, no, I get that. I feel like same.
I don't know if you've seen those memes where it's like, what are all of y'all out there doing now that are like that were gifted in school and like kind of
I don't
got
like to
put
look
in,
at
yeah,
those
they got
because
put in like the
those hit
advanced
too
class.
close to those hit way too close to home.
And then it's always like, oh yeah, now all of us are just depressed, and we just kind of, we either are depressed and do nothing, or we have a million projects, and none of them are done. And I
Y-
definitely feel like I fall into that second category.
Yeah, you're thinking about the gifted kid burnout, and it's absolutely true.
Oh no, wait,
All of
I think
us.
it's like you're either a doctor or you're you're nothing, and there's
See,
only two middle
that's
grounds.
you're correct. You either have not burned out, or you have, or you burned out, but you somehow made it back, unlike the rest of us.
Yep, yep.
And unfortunately, I burned out halfway through high school.
Halfway
Actually,
through, wow, yeah, that's
I can tell you exactly when I hit my decline. So
real. Okay,
I grew up in talented and gifted classes because I guess learned at an accelerated rate or something like that. And so like growing up, they would have the tag kids go to different classes to basically like do other things and other projects because we were learning at a different rate. We were kind of like ahead of the class type stuff.
right.
And so like we would end up like going on cool little field trips and like going to like museums, inner space caverns. Like we would do a lot of stuff that the other kids couldn't do because we were talented and gifted, I guess.
Yep.
Which to the non-tag kids, that's kind of messed up. That they're not being rewarded for being or that the other kids get awarded because they mentally can just learn faster and better.
This is shattering millions of No Child Left Behind doubters.
Oh,
They got left
absolutely.
behind, bro. They got
Oh,
ditched.
yeah. And see, unfortunately, I got left behind without getting left behind
What?
because I got kicked out of tag. Uh,
Oh,
so it's because when I went to middle school. So the thing about tag kids, because it's one of those things where you are gifted and like you have the talent, and because of that, and everybody praises that, you don't feel like you need to put in the actual effort.
right. Yeah.
And then when it finally happens where you have to, you don't know what to do because you're so used to being naturally talented or naturally gifted at something that when you actually have to do the things like actually study and figure out stuff and do things like that, you kind of just fucking freaking Jake. It's like a battery that's lost its charge.
Yeah, that's a
I
good way
guess
to
you could say you
describe it.
burned out. Huh.
Yeah,
Uh,
yeah.
and it happened in middle school. I go to sixth grade. I already knew I wasn't the biggest fan of history because of fifth grade. And so up until the fifth grade, I got all A's. And in the
Okay,
fifth
yeah.
grade, I started getting B's. No, it
Oh,
wasn't fifth grade. It was fourth grade. I got B's.
yep, yep.
And
Devastating. Absolutely devastating.
oh, absolutely. As an all A student who
Mhm.
got praised for his good grades and whatnot, the expectation was always to get A's. And then I got my first B. And if you think about it, like actually getting a B is not bad. If you're not failing a class, it's not a bad thing. However, when you've been conditioned to only get all A's, that starts the decline if you don't get it back up.
Yep, especially when you don't get the support from, like, your teachers, your parents, where they're like, "It's okay, man." You're like, "You're still succeeding. You're still doing like, you're in, like, the 90th percentile here. You just gotta
Yeah,
keep on
no.
the course."
Instead,
Yeah.
it's what's going on? Is everything okay? Why aren't you getting all A's? We reward you for getting all A's, but now that you don't have all A's, we can't reward you anymore.
Yep, yep.
So then I go to middle school, uh, and I go to history class, and that's where I failed my first couple of tests. That's where I got my first C and C's on my report card. And that's where the decline really started happening. And that's when I started detesting history. I said, history sucks. I hate this. Uh, but of course, from going from all A's to a couple of B's to getting C's on report cards, it's not a good thing for you mentally. Uh,
True.
and that really started the decline because after that is when I started getting C's in all my history classes until oh wait, sorry. I got C's in like all year for my history class. Then seventh grade is when I got my first D. and that was
That
rough.
yeah, yeah.
That was real rough. And then I go to 8th grade, and they basically are like, "Hey, you can't, or we're gonna put you in pre-AP classes, not tag classes," because I started getting D's on my report card, uh, and I was struggling
Hmm.
because I got D's in history. I started getting B's in other classes, um, and I guess I just wasn't showing off enough. I wasn't doing good enough anymore. Um, and then when
Wait, hold on, hold on. I got a question. When you
yeah.
were like, uh, uh, how do I phrase this? When you were like in class, right?
Yeah.
Are you a big note taker, or are you more of like a lecture and then like focus on the lecture and then like discuss with people afterwards and like
Oh, John, you silly little goose.
I
So, growing up
oh
in
yeah, yeah.
in college,
Oh wait,
I
hold on. Before you
so
launch
okay,
into this,
so
back
mhm.
off from your mic just a little bit.
Oh, I'm sorry,
You're
I'm
getting
sorry, I'm
real
sorry.
excited.
I got too passionate.
There you go. That's a lot
So,
better.
we're gonna backtrack. In college, I tried taking notes, and I did for some classes, uh, but, like, a lot of them gave us, like, handouts and stuff, so I didn't really have to worry about it. In high school and middle school, especially starting 7th grade, I joined this program slash class called AVID. It's called, or which stands for Advancement via Individual Determination. It's pretty much a class slash program that's meant to help you prepare and get into college.
Okay.
And,
Yeah.
and because of that, there were a lot of requirements that we had to do every week. One of them is we would have to do TRF, tutorial request forms, where we basically every Tuesday, or whatever day that the class or that the teacher chose, every week we would have TRFs where we would get into groups, and we basically would have to be like, "Hey, I'm struggling with this. Here's what I learned, and here's what the teacher showed me how to do. Here's what I don't understand. Can anybody help me?" And when you don't have classes that you're struggling with, but you have bad grades, obviously it's like, well, obviously you're not doing something right. You're not figuring out something. So you
Right.
need to have something for this class. And so I had to keep BSing stuff that I already understood, but because I was just like, the only things that I could actually do TRFs over would be something like math or science, because it's a very logic based class. It's okay. Here's a formula. I don't understand how to do this. But the classes I was struggling with was history. And so it's like, how am I going to sit here and say, hey, I don't understand uh, history. I don't understand how the South lost the war or some shit like that. Like, what do you do in that situation?
Yeah.
Because my biggest problem was I struggle with remembering dates, I struggle with remembering timelines, and I struggle with just history in general. Because it was mostly because I was bored. Because that's my first classes where it wasn't interactive. It was quite literally just lecture based.
Okay. So part of this could be chalked up to your teacher not being like, because for me to slightly sidetrack, for me the history was one of the like my favorite professors, but that
Mhm.
dude was so into his work that like you could not be like caught up.
Yeah, yeah. I don't know. Let's see. It wasn't until a high school that I really had a professor or not a professor, but a teacher that I enjoyed teaching history.
Mm.
Mr. Marshall, shout out to him, because he very much was a teacher who paid attention to his students and how they learned, and he basically would teach every class as a mixed learning kind of thing, because he would do lecture, but then we would do like interactive things, and we would do like worksheets, we would do group work, we would discuss, we would do things like that. It wasn't just, hey, here's what happened at this time period, here's what you need to know for your test, make sure you remember this, here's all the vocabulary that you need to understand, yada yada yada. And his projects were also a lot of fun too. And like we even like every year we would have like a cultural food day where we would all bring in a food for either our, I think either our culture or whatever culture we were talking about. But I believe it was our culture.
I like this guy
And it was
already.
no, he was really cool, and he was one of the teachers. He did cuss at us, but he was also no. Listen. He in that at that point we were like juniors, so like we were basically like adults almost.
Right. Yeah.
Um,
Yeah. You could
but like
harass him.
he would cuss at us, but he also was straightforward and honest with us and like just blunt about everything. And uh, at one like several points he basically would be like, yeah, half of you guys are failing my class, I'm doing what I need to do, you guys aren't doing what you need to do,
Oh,
so if you need to come to tutoring, I have tutoring these days and these days. Like he was straightforward with us, and I did appreciate that as a
what
teacher.
did he slip like a dumbass in there at some point?
uh
What?
Probably.
How harsh was his cussing?
Like he was very, he was one of those teacher where he had favorites, but he also wasn't giving up on the students that he didn't like as much.
Oh, okay.
Uh, but he would, whenever we would get in trouble, he would say things like, "Stop being dumbasses and
Nice.
pay attention," or
Nice.
like, "If y'all don't want to talk, you can get the fuck out of my room," type shit.
Hey, okay, yeah, yeah, yeah.
Uh, it was basically a college professor. Well, because he also did AP classes. He did AP history, which I failed that one as well.
Yeah, high
Um,
five.
but back to the main topic at point. Avid. The other requirement outside of doing the TRFs is we had to take Cornell notes for all of our classes, all of our core classes. And Cornell Notes is a specific style of note taking where you basically set up your page. Well, we had they at first they gave us like pages to write on, so it was just easier for us, so we could get into the what is it called? Get into the habit of making them. But basically,
Oh,
you would
right,
just have
yeah.
like your header, like you would have your name, your date, your class, stuff like that, and then we would split the page like 1/8 on the left side and then 3/8 on the or 7/8 on the other side, and on the left side would be all of your topics. And so we'd be like, oh, today we're learning about in today in algebra we're learning about the Pythagorean theorem. So you go, oh, Pythagorean theorem, and then you write all your notes on the right side about the Pythagorean theorem, and every time you would go to the next topic you would just start on the next one, yada yada yada. And like we would get graded on how well we took our notes, we would get graded on
Oh.
how neat it was. And one of the things that was we also were graded on was, did you go back and revise your notes? Because the more that you revise your notes, the more you're going to remember them.
Mm.
But as a kid, I was like, I already wrote these down. I don't need to go back and rewrite them. But it's meant to help you remember things because you're writing it down and memorizing what you've been writing type stuff.
Yes.
Unfortunately,
Yeah.
I did not do that.
Wait,
I
which
wrote it
part? The revising part?
the revising part. I wrote it for the one time, and like if I got in trouble, I would do it. But if not, I wouldn't do it because my brain, or as a kid, I was like, I already wrote it down. I'm just gonna relook at or look back at my notes, and I never did,
Yeah, yeah.
and I
See,
still don't
it's
do that to this day.
yeah, I had to do a lot of like test prep is the best way I can describe it. It's probably like
Hmm.
college prep is probably what it was more likely called. And some of it was definitely that note taking, like how to take notes.
Hmm.
And all of them had like there were like so many different styles of doing it that I don't remember if the Cornell one was one of them. I probably looked at it and then went like, I don't understand. This is too far out of my reach. Cause like
Yeah.
I feel like everybody kind of learns, they categorize stuff in their own brain differently.
Oh,
So to like
absolutely.
visually force someone into a box of like having to take notes in a particular style,
Yeah.
that seems counterintuitive to the natural flow. Though I
Hmm.
guess to a certain degree you kind of have to like push people into like I think maybe that's that first thought of there's a way to organize notes that is superior to another way, and then showing them, look, this is what the people of Cornell do. Then if
Yeah.
you like take that style and you go, this is dumb, but if I do this and this, but I add in these things, like organize it in your own particular way,
Yeah.
maybe then it's more effective. I
Almost like
genuinely don't
you're adapting
remember.
it to yourself.
Yes, I don't remember what style I stole because my notes ended up just being basically like it's very similar to that kind of Cornellish like topic followed by stuff I'm like notes on that, except rather
Hmm.
than you said you split the page like up and down.
Yeah, so like, it was almost like you like vertically split the page
Hmm.
where you would just have like your topics on the left side, and then like a very small little area down on the left side, and then your notes, like actual notes, would be off to the right.
I see. Yeah, I
And like,
think mine was similar to that, except it was basically I didn't split the page. I just started at the top and then would like put keyword and then what this keyword is, and then when it
yeah,
would bring up the next topic or whatever, then it go on to the next topic.
yeah, no, I get you. And like, I kind of still almost do that, but I don't do it even remotely close to it. But like I have adopted a lot of the note taking style of it, I guess, if that makes sense. Because like something that, well, rather I did make it my own. I It did start off like, oh, here's how they did it in Cornell, but then like when I was writing my notes, I'd be like, oh, here's the topic, here's the main thing about it. Oh, here's something else that's important, and I would like make a little arrow down underneath it. It's like, oh, cool. Here's like some like a subtopic about this thing, and like each subtopic, I would just keep doing those arrows, and then if I did feel like revising it, I would just take out my highlighter. Okay, here's a keyword here. Here's a definition for that. Here's something that is important to know that isn't the main thing, like stuff like that. Because I didn't feel like revising it and rewriting it myself, but I would just go back and like highlight stuff that was important so that I knew, okay, this is something that I need to remember, type stuff.
Yeah. Okay,
Oh,
I looked up this Cornell method. Actually, I looked up Googled styles of note taking.
yeah.
Here's the top 3: chart, outline, mapping. Boxing is also in here.
Mm.
Though I believe Google thinks that this is a combat sport and a martial art in which two people usually wear protective gloves and throw punches at each other.
What?
I think there's a definitely something called a boxing method,
Yeah.
but dude, this like the Cornell method is
Oh
exhausting. This
yeah. You
looks
also write
exhausting.
summaries at the bottom
Yeah, yeah.
of each page because it's basically supposed to be like, okay, here's the topic on the left side, on the right side, here's all the notes, and on the summary, you're supposed to basically summarize what you wrote on that page.
Yeah, it's notes on your notes.
Yeah, which is
That's
again
crazy.
supposed to help you,
Yeah.
and it's almost like, okay, well, what did I write about today? What did we learn today? Oh, here's what we learned, and you just write like your key points down in that summary. Oh, here we learned about this and this and that, and see, if it was digital, it would be a lot better because I like I like writing digital notes.
Mm.
Because even like how we use the Google Docs for a lot of stuff, and like we make the little bookmarks, and then you can link that over there. So like it'd be like, oh, here's a keyword here. If I just click on this, it just takes me over to that.
Yes. Yeah. There's a lot of things that digitally you can do. Like there's actually software designed to like make note taking easier.
Mm-hmm.
I think the big argument like for and against it is actually I think we were talking about this on the last podcast where like, you can extend your brain basically into something. There's
Yeah,
programs that sort of emulate that. If you think this thought, you can tie it to a bunch of other thoughts. So if you're learning about the Pythagorean theorem, for example, and you talked about that in lecture 1, and then you talked about that again in lecture 8, and then again in lecture 15, if you properly tag those 3 in
yeah,
your software, it's basically doing what your brain is doing, where you're collating all this information. And so you could go, well, I talked about this 8 weeks ago, I talked about this 7 weeks ago, and then I talked about this now. And so I can refer back to these notes. But the
yeah.
downside, at least that I've been told, and I feel personally that I kind of agree with this, that writing it helps sink it into your brain more than typing it out
Absolutely.
does. I don't know the science of that. I can just tell you that personally, I've tried typing it out and it just didn't stick quite as well. I
I
kind
think
of
it's
maybe
sorry.
associate it with the fact that uh, like how if you're in a specific spot, sometimes your brain will tell you, like subconsciously, you prepare yourself. Like say for example, if you go to the gym, your brain and your whole body is telling you, well, we're going to the gym, we're going to go work out. So like subconsciously you're getting worked up for that. Or
Yeah.
if you're like lying in bed, sometimes your body is like, well, we're in bed. What do we do in bed? We sleep. So we're
Hmm.
trying to go to sleep, even if you're like not doing that. And I've seen a lot of people suggest, like, yeah, don't work in bed, don't do stuff in bed. I do everything in bed.
Oh,
Like, I'm
absolutely.
like,
Yeah,
forget this. My desk is covered in paper
I
and
felt that.
stuff. And like, that's where the desk is. I'm not writing at my desk. I'm going to do that in my bed or find some other spot.
See, and that I completely agree with you on pretty much everything that you said. Because I've always had issues with going to sleep. Not as much lately because I've gotten my sleep schedule pretty solid now.
Nice. That's a big
And my
turning point. I
body.
think that's part of
Oh,
the steps
absolutely.
to adulthood right there.
Yeah, yeah. And like, so I know Jacob had told me multiple times, like, if you do everything in bed, if you go home and you just lay in bed like after work or whatever, and you're just like laying there, like watching TV or like playing games, like just laying in bed, your body's not basically going to associate, oh, it's time to rest but not sleep if you just stay in bed, which is why it's probably so hard for you to get to sleep because your body's like, oh, we're just vibing, we're not going to bed. And it doesn't really differentiate
Yeah.
between, oh, it's bedtime and oh, we're just kind of decompressing.
Yep. Yep. It's kind of weird that like the body can well, I guess it's the brain really that's overwhelming yourself.
Yeah.
And like I feel like for the longest time I didn't really have a problem with working out before going to bed. Like I could
Mhm.
do that and then pretty much just go back, take a shower, and zonk out. Now, I also feel like it's because I read that if you work out
Mhm.
for about 3 hours before you go to bed, the endorphins are still rushing through your body, and so you're not gonna be able to sleep as well. And I found that
Yeah.
out, and I went, "Oh my god!" I don't know if it was a that's why I haven't been able to fall asleep as well, or
Yeah.
that like I learned that information and went, "Oh, so I can't fall asleep if I work out within 3 hours of going to like."
Yeah. I got you. I got you.
So now I've been like I think that's partially why I like screwed myself over last night because I went for a run at like 9 and
Mhm.
then tried to go to bed at midnight because I like timed it back 3 hours.
Mhm.
I went, oh, this will be all right. And then just the whole night I was like, what's going on? Waking up every like hour, hour and a half
Oh
to the
no.
wind howling outside my window. Like, ah, yes, there's a storm coming.
Mhm. There's a storm brewing.
It's the same with food. I can't eat before I go to bed anymore. I did that
Mhm.
all through college. Like it would be go to class, go do extracurricular stuff, get home, eat, sleep. That was like the system.
Mhm.
And now, like if I ever try and eat before I go to bed, I'm like I feel bad. Like my I feel my stomach and it hurts because I've eaten food and now I'm lying down and then
Yeah.
now I'm digesting this food into energy. And so I'm like laying in bed vibrating going, all right, do we just get up and move? What do we do here?
Oh no.
Getting old
Sounds like
sucks, man.
ADHD.
Getting
Yeah, it
old.
does. You can't do
It's
the stuff
not
that you used to do.
ADHD.
No,
That's
I get that though.
what do you call that? Where it's like you think you're sick, but you're not really sick.
Hypochondriac.
That's the one. Yep. I'm turning into a hypochondriac.
It's because you're getting old, bud.
That's it. Yep. That's the only solution. I think when I hit
I
30, I just don't know what I'll do.
Yeah. I mean, that's when the midlife crisis starts.
I think
Well,
that's. I thought it was
yeah,
like
because
later than that, like 40.
I don't know. We are a lot more sentient than our ancestors are. By ancestors, I mean our older relatives.
That's true. Yeah. Maybe we're already in our midlife crisis. That's why we restarted the podcast. We're
See,
panicking.
every time I say I'm having a midlife crisis, everyone corrects me and say it's a quarterly life crisis
Yeah.
because I'm
True.
only in my
Yeah.
20s.
Yeah. I mean,
Uh,
the life expectancy is like 70 to 80, right? Something like that.
that's like a third life crisis.
Yeah, yeah. I'd say so.
But yeah, I don't know. I What were we talking about? Oh, right, note taking and like how we learn and stuff, and being a
Yeah.
tag kid.
Yeah, the
Oh wait,
natural
okay, so
natural
rewind.
intelligence.
So I stopped being officially a tag kid in high school because it was 8th grade, and the counselor had called me in and was like, "Hey, we just want to talk to you. Like we just want to figure out what your the classes you're trying to take in high school." First of all, I was mad. Me and Chanel, we were pissed off because we wanted to take Latin in high school because my school offered
Oh,
Latin
yeah, yeah.
in high school. Or my high school offered Latin rather, but the year that we went to high school, they got rid of Latin.
Classic. Yeah.
Because I get it's a dead language, but come on. Do you know how cool it'd be if I could speak in Latin right now?
Okay, first of
It'd be
all,
completely useless.
didn't you take Japanese for like 8 years?
Okay, so first of all, watch your mouth. That's
Oh,
incorrect.
okay, all right. Yep.
I took Japanese for a total of like 2.5 years.
Can you
Actually,
right,
no,
right.
2 years. But in my okay, hold on, we're getting off topic. But in my defense with Japanese, I failed the first time, the first semester. I
Yeah.
retook it. I passed because I remembered most of the stuff, and then I took the next class the semester after that. And then I took a full year of Japanese in 8 weeks.
Oh, yeah, that's right. Yeah.
So there's no
I
way I was going to retain that information, especially when one of the classes was 3 weeks long and we did half a year's work in 3 weeks.
Yeah. I mean, I can tell you as somebody who did study Latin in high school, I don't speak
Mhm.
it, but it does help understanding language etymology, like between
Yeah.
Spanish and what is the other one?
Italian,
Yeah, Italian, German. I think is also based in Latin,
French,
French. Yep, yep. They kind of all,
and Spanish. Yeah, you said
they
Spanish.
have the same roots, so you could kind of see.
I don't think German is a Latin
Is German
language.
not? I don't remember
Uh,
what all of them there were.
yeah, I think it's English, Spanish, French, and Italian.
Yeah, that sounds right.
The
Yeah,
love languages. Oh,
yeah.
there's 5? Oh, wait, Um, hold on. Let me look up Latin languages because love languages is. Oh, how do you show your love the best? Okay. Oh, I was wrong. Then it's a lot more than 5. Or 4. There's Italian, French, Portuguese, Spanish, Romanian, Catalan, Romansh, and other Romance languages. That's what they're called. Romance
Romance
languages.
language. Yeah, okay, yeah.
Romance languages. There we go. But yeah, English is. I don't think English is one of them, but it's kind of one of them. You know?
Well, yeah, they're based in like they have the same script, you know.
Yeah. Oh, and then there's Germanic languages, which is.
Oh, okay, yeah.
Oh, let's see. It's they divide Germanic
Swedish.
languages into 3 groups.
Oh,
West Germanic, which includes English, German, and Netherlandic, Dutch. There's North Germanic, which is Danish, Swedish, Icelandic, Norwegian. And what is that? For Faroese? I don't know.
just
And East Germanic, which is extinct.
offending a
Compa-
whole subculture of people.
it's
Your
fine.
language
It's
doesn't count
fine.
because we can't pronounce it.
You know what? You know what? Just for that, I'm gonna figure out how to pronounce this. Pronunciation.
Just sound it out. Do like you did in your tag class.
Fe-
Cat.
Faroese.
CAT.
No, I don't want to practice it.
Faroese.
Faroese. What?
Faroese. What the heck is a
Did you
Faroese?
did you hear that?
I think that's a dog.
Why is my sound coming from my computer? Hold on. Okay.
The Great Faroese.
There we go. We're good.
They're like giant. They're like
Faroese,
giant. You know,
language.
giant fuzzy dogs.
Oh, let's see. The Faroe Islanders, which
What?
mainly reside in Denmark.
Denmark.
Yeah.
I thought the Denmark were Danish.
Danish is a Germanic language.
Oh,
Is it
so do they have their own like what do you call it? Like an indigenous language?
I think so. Let's see.
Faroese.
Faroe Islanders. The Faroese people, or Faroe Islanders, are an ethnic group native to the Faroe Islands. They're a mix of they have a mix of Norse and Gaelic origins.
Oh, so they're white people.
Yeah, I suppose so. Yeah.
Interesting.
Oh, but English is also widely understood over there as well.
I mean, I guess the British people are also islanders.
So then, where are the Faroe Islands at?
It's a good question.
Let's see. The Faroe Islands. Oh, they are above the UK.
It doesn't sound like a real. I've never heard of the Faroe Islands before. How do you spell that?
Probably Faroe.
Faroe. What the?
Yeah.
Self-governing. Oh, Kingdom of Denmark. Oh, okay. I have heard of these.
It's kind of between the UK and is that Greenland? I think.
God in Himmel.
Iceland.
Why does this place look like? What was that place we were talking about that doesn't technically exist? It's not Michigan.
Vermont.
This looks like Vermont.
Vermont doesn't
This
exist.
looks like Vermont, but
Okay.
it looks like there's no trees. Vermont, if it was an island.
Yeah. By the way, to our listeners, I am a firm believer that Vermont does not actually exist. It is a ploy of the government to make 50 United States to make it even if it was one of the was it one of the first 13 colonies?
I think so.
13 colonies.
Oh yeah, it's over by Iceland. Look at that.
Let's see. New Hampshire, Massachusetts, Rhode Island, Connecticut. I just want to know which ones they are.
These people,
tell me their
must
names.
have a wicked accent.
I want to hear it actually.
Hey, what is the
Faroese.
population? I need to look at the population of Faroe Islands.
The 13 original colonies.
These are so my people.
Where's Vermont at? I forgot already. Is that Vermont?
Oh, 50,
Vermont.
52,889 as of 2021.
We're in 2 different worlds right now. Also, to let you know, Vermont was not one of the original 13 colonies. It's fake. It's not real. Vermont is just a mixture of New Hampshire and New York, but icy.
That's right. Yeah. To compare, Austin has 964,000. Faro
Wow.
has 52,000. 53 if
God
you round up.
dang.
Actually, wait a second.
Wow. Also, listeners, one of these days, me and John, we're going to go on a trip to Montpelier, Vermont, to prove that it doesn't exist.
Yep.
But also because it's really pretty in the snow.
You can meet us there. Bro, this island, the entire population of the Faroe Islands is smaller than my hometown.
Are you serious? Jeez. Slightly more than 50,000.
That's impressive. That's very impressive.
You know, I was gonna say that it's probably not as big as mine, but then I forget. I'm a military town.
Yeah, that's the one I'm talking about.
Oh yeah, 150,000.
Yep. If anybody can get us into contact with somebody from the Faroe Islands, I'd really like to know. There was actually this. Oh, shout out to. Oh gosh, what's her name? There was a lady from. Oh man.
Mm-hmm.
She was like.
Mm-hmm.
Like she's in a really cold place, negative 90 Celsius. I forget what the name of this actual.
Antarctica.
Damn it! No, she blew up recently. I wish I could remember her name. She was she basically started releasing videos because she lived in this, or she lives, I should say, in this like
Mm-hmm.
super remote town of like, maybe she's in Siberia.
Oh, that would make a lot of sense.
Let me see if I can find the actual name of this lady. Hyun B. That's her name.
Mm-hmm.
She basically lives in Yakutsk, the coldest city. Yeah, Yakutsk. The name of her channel is KIUN space B, the letter B. She
Shout out to her.
Yeah, absolutely shout out. She has been releasing stuff that's like how we survive at negative 64 Celsius. And like,
That's crazy.
all of these like, it's like, yeah, how do we go to the bathroom? And then she's like, gets bundled up, and then she goes out to this little outhouse because they don't have like plumbing because it's that cold.
Jeez.
What was I talking about? Yeah, right. Super remote place, right? Where's Yakutsk? You see, Yakutsk. It's a tiny city in Russia, the capital city of Sakha in Russia, 280 miles south of the Arctic Circle. It's like literally one of the coldest places in the entire world. Oh yeah. Look, her little banner says "Life in the coldest place on Earth." Man, damn, she's up over 1.17 million subscribers. Go Kian, you got this.
Heck yeah. See, I don't know how people can do that.
What, live in really cold places or in
Yeah,
because
I can barely cold places. I can barely handle Texas in 50 degrees. But also, to be fair, we are usually in triple digits half the year.
Yes, I think if you flip that around, I think people would struggle to live in 111 degree heat.
Yeah, that's absolutely fair.
Yeah, the people of not Yakutsk, of the Faroe Islands. I'd like to meet one of them.
Mm-hmm.
We could,
if anybody
can get us really into contact with them, yeah, we could like learn about what life is like over in Faroe.
It's probably cold over there too.
Yeah. Yeah. North of Britain, over near Iceland. Well, Iceland's technically not super cold, but it is cold.
Mm-hmm. So, I looked up a video about short video about somebody speaking Faroese, and a lot of people are like, "Wow, this is crazy," and then they're like comparing it to other things that they've probably heard. So, like, someone said it sounds like when an Englishman tries to talk Swedish. Someone said they're Norwegian and they basically understood everything. It's like he speaks a Scandinavian language with an Irish accent.
Oh, yeah, okay. Yeah, they would be similar to Ireland. It's a small island off of like Britain.
Yeah, I mean they have, I believe, Gaelic ancestry, Norse and Gaelic.
Yeah,
if I remember
that would make
correctly.
sense. That's about that area.
Yeah, but We learned a lot today. We learned a whole new area in the world exists that we had no idea about.
Yeah, I can tell you that geography is probably my weak. If I had to pick a topic in school, geography
Hmm.
is probably my worst one.
Have you ever played GeoGuessr?
Like once. Yeah,
Oh,
not great.
I could tell.
I actually that's actually one of the benefits of my job is that I have to deal with like selecting states a lot, and
Mhm.
so to like assign people where they actually want to be, and
Yeah,
so I have been getting really familiar with the abbreviations. I
yeah,
feel like if I work a little bit longer, I can actually like you could be like, what's Maine, right? And they go like, ah, easy,
yeah.
Emmy, it's Emmy. What about California?
Are you asking me?
Yeah,
Oh,
California's
that's
pretty. Yeah,
CA.
yeah. Texas is also pretty easy. TX.
TX.
Then you get into some of those smaller ones like Vermont. Vermont's pretty.
VT.
Yeah. That's pretty
I
easy.
know that one. I know that one way too well.
Yeah. Washington. Is an
That's
easy one.
WA, ain't
Yeah,
it?
yep. Then there's some of them that are super similar, like oh gosh, what's a good example? Uh I don't know. I'll have to think about it. See, that's what I'm saying. I'm not quite there.
Yeah.
There are some that I
Mhm.
definitely get confused on because they're like
Mhm.
so similar.
I see. I see. I see.
So
I
if you
got
think
you.
about it, South Carolina and South Dakota, the only difference is a slight line in the fact that the
Yeah.
C is backwards. Wait,
Sure.
backwards. How do you make a D? Capital D, capital C.
Capital D is just a backward C with an L, a
Oh,
lowercase
the
L.
beard scratching ASMR.
Oh, you heard that? Oh no. Excuse me.
Couldn't
Sorry.
be me, bro. Couldn't be me. I don't beard
Yeah, you
scratch.
got a baby face.
Hey,
That's why.
that's rude.
Oh, was that out of pocket?
That's
I'm sorry.
offensive to all babies out there.
Well, it sounds like a you problem.
I,
Deal with it.
all right, I know how to solve this problem. I'll start doing
Mm-hmm.
cocaine.
What? No.
That's the oh no meth. I'll start doing meth. That's the only way I know how to age
I
myself up.
I can't help but feel like that's not gonna do what you think it's gonna
Or I
do.
could start drinking drastically.
What else would be different?
See, one of the fastest ways to lose weight, is to get sick, right? You get like a stomach bug. You physically can't
Oh, I'm
eat and
aware.
you're just hurling all the time. You lose a lot of body weight,
Yeah.
and you're like
You
getting
also get dehydrated real
yep,
fast.
you're getting like an ab workout basically every hour and a half when your body decides to upchuck. It's the same with like,
Upchuck.
like meth. If you start doing
I don't
meth,
think that's how that works.
well,
Don't do that.
all of your money then goes to meth. And so you can't afford food.
Actually, people who do hard drugs are typically a lot skinnier because all they really a lot of that they consume is that drug,
Yep.
and it's not healthy at all.
Yep. See, this is why I don't like I'm not a big fan of the munchie side effect of things
Mm-hmm.
because I'm already prone to munchies in my normal time. I can't exacerbate that problem
Oh yeah,
suddenly.
especially if you're fasting, that's dangerous.
Uh-huh. Yep. It could rupture your stomach. What are we talking about right now?
I don't know how we got here. This happens a lot. Oh right, hold on. Okay,
They
running
fish.
it back, rolling it back, rolling it
They
back.
fish and you cut. What are we talking about?
I gotcha. We started off this podcast about how I got kicked out of tag, and I haven't even finished that
That's
story yet.
right. Bad boy Isaiah got kicked out of.
I wasn't bad. I just was struggling in school.
Yep. And then you put on these cool sunglasses. You started packing a Glock in the jock strap.
I don't. No. Jockstrap. What? Okay. So first of all, I've never worn one of those. Have I?
A gun or a jock strap?
I won't answer that question.
Or sunglasses. I guess those are the three options.
Well, I mean, yeah, I've worn sunglasses before.
It's got to be one of the other two then.
I'm not answering that question. But no. Okay, so two things, but we'll finish the story first.
Someone did wrestle in high school. You hear that, everybody?
I didn't do I took gym for one semester, or a half a year.
How did you escape
in high
with that?
school? Because at my school, we only needed to take a half a year of gym or like a physical activity or sport.
You never would have made it in the military. We had
Absolutely not.
military high school. We had to do it all, bro, all the time, every day, all
It's
years of high school.
because they had to keep you ready.
Yep, yep. They had to get us ready
See,
out, and then
it's
boom.
funny because I grew up in the military town,
Yep. But
but I was just a
you were
boy.
just a little civvy.
I was a little civilian for those who don't know. So I went to high school. No, right, 8th grade. Talking to the counselor, and she was like, "Hey, we're just trying to figure out your like your ninth grade schedule and like the classes you're trying to take, blah blah blah." And so I was like, "Oh, cool, I want to take." They're like, "Yeah, you have to take this class and this class. Like these are all requirements. Then you have your electives, blah blah blah." And so I was like, "Oh, cool. Can I take like I basically asked." Yeah, can I take tag classes? Because I'm a tag student. And they're like, oh, well, they don't offer tag in high school. And I was like, oh, okay. It wasn't until my senior year that I found out that Chanel, best friend, who grew up in tag with me, that she was in tag classes in high school,
Damn.
specifically tag English.
She left off the very important part of that sentence. They don't offer tag classes in high school for people
To
like
you.
you.
Exactly.
Go run on the track.
Unfortunately, yes.
So wait, was
so
gym then an elective for you after it was mandatory and you chose something else?
so in high school, because like in middle school we had to gym every year. In elementary school, gym every year. High school, we only needed half a year of gym, which is 2 semesters. And so it should just be one semester. Anyways, 2 semesters of gym, and that's all you needed for it. And it basically was an elective, yeah. But you needed either gym, which I had PE, physical education, which is one of the easiest classes of my life because my coaches were kind of lazy because they were more focused on the athletics.
Right. Yeah.
And so we spent mostly every day walking around the gym for for the whole class. And then Fridays we would have free play. Unless my class was bad, then we would all just sit on the floor and be quiet.
That sounds like exercise.
Yeah, totally. We did have to walk a couple miles every now and again, or walk a mile every now and again.
Hmm.
And then once you were done with that, you basically had free play for the rest of class. And they said that we had to run, but nobody ran except for like those kids.
Yeah, the ones that tried.
Yeah. Everyone else just walked and just went back to the gym after they
Yep.
walked their
Yep.
mile. But yeah, that kind of segues into the other anecdote about gym and physical education that I had. So first things first, I have always been insecure in my body, especially in like grade school. That's when it was the worst because I had been bullied for my weight for most of my life as a kid. And so very insecure about my body. And so starting in middle school when I had to start taking PE, instead of changing in the locker room like everybody else like a sane person, I just wore my gym clothes underneath my uniform. And it stayed that way for the entirety of 7th and 8th grade.
Nice.
Uh,
That's speed
which,
right there. Efficiency.
if you know me, if you know Isaiah, he sweats very easily. Also in middle school, which might have probably attributed to this issue, I was known as the musty kid because the deodorant that I was using wasn't working. The body wash that I was using, I think it didn't mesh well with my body odor, but we didn't know what was causing the problem, so we didn't change anything like that.
Ah, yeah.
Uh, and so because of that, I was the musty kid in middle school. And people still bring it up to me to this day. Some people who I used to go to school with, they'd be like, "Hey, remember in middle school?" I'm like, "Yeah, yeah, I remember. I remember that very well. Thanks for bringing that up." And so by not taking off my gym clothes and just wearing them under my uniform, it probably did not help at all.
Yep. That. Yeah. Yeah. Yet another
Uh,
reason I'm glad I didn't have to go through that.
yeah, I wish I didn't have to either, but unfortunately I did. And so then in high school, thankfully we changed my deodorant. Uh, I realized we learned that gel deodorant did not do well for me
Ah,
because
yeah.
I think I kind of just sweated it out pretty much.
Hmm.
But the powder deodorant, like the white stick one, pretty good.
Ah, yeah, yeah, yeah.
So I was no longer the stinky, smelly boy in high school. Thank God.
Nice.
Uh, Unless I forgot to put on deodorant, which happened not regularly, thankfully. But when I did have to take gym in high school, I did the exact same thing because I was extremely conscious of my bod. Uh,
Speaking of smells, I always found it
uh-uh.
fascinating people that use like like oh gosh,
Don't say Axe
like
body spray.
no, well I mean that's an example, but I was thinking
Okay.
of higher ones like Dior,
Oh
the
yeah.
like super fancy perfumes and all that stuff.
Hmm.
'Cause that was always a problem for me because I don't know if it's my nose or whatever it is, but like every time I go into a place like that, you remember that one time we went into I don't know if it was it a Bed Bath and Beyond or something like that.
Probably.
Like every time I ever go into one of those places, the scents are just overwhelming. Like
Yeah,
I
that's
get a
fair.
headache so unbelievably fast.
Hmm.
And it's always someplace that smells like really fragrancy.
Hmm.
And oh yeah, this is just now this is just reminded me that I found a tub of like laundry detergent,
Yeah.
in a closet. And I went, well, that's good. I need to go get laundry detergent anyway because I'm almost out. So I'll just use this. Not realizing I don't usually use like scented ones. And I didn't realize that this
Oh.
one was like, hey, this one smells fresh. And so I like washed everything
Oh
with
no.
this like overpowering scent. And so now like the past like week, every time I put on like a new pair of anything that I got washed, it's like, oh my
Hmm.
God. I just need to pretend I don't smell it until eventually it goes away.
Oh
Uh,
no, that's
yep,
terrible,
and
dude.
it's a big tub. It's big.
Hmm.
I don't know what I do with it. I don't know if I put it back in the closet or if I may like maybe I can like desensitize myself to it. But that first
Hmm.
day, I was just like dead. And I don't understand how people are able to put on like super powerful like what do you colognes, perfumes. I don't even know what all the words for it is.
Yeah. See, I kind of get that, because for me, my thing with that is there's some flowers and like flower scents that give me headaches too.
Mm.
Specifically for me, it's lilies, and unfortunately, my mom's favorite flower is a lily. So
Ah,
she would
yeah.
like get them for herself, or like people would get it for her as gifts and stuff, and they would just sit in the living room just existing, and I would just be in the living room for like 5 minutes, and all of a sudden I just have a terrible headache.
Yep.
Or
Yeah.
another one is smoke, especially from like candles and incense, but especially candles.
Mm.
And my mom also loved to burn candles.
Ah, yeah.
So whenever she did, I would just hide into my room. But unfortunately, my room was right next to the living room, and that's where she would burn the candles. So like it would just be in my room, and I would just get a headache, and it was just like the worst thing ever because it's like there's nothing I can do about it.
Yep. Yeah. You crack open a window and hope for the best.
See, gosh dang. It's like if it's not one thing, it's another thing. I couldn't do that because my window for at least not for a lot of my life, but for a good chunk of my life, my window had a wasp nest in it.
Oh, that's right. I
Uh,
remember you telling me about the wasp nest.
yeah, so I mean, I had another window, but I was too afraid to open that one for fear that the wasp would fly into that side
All right,
instead.
the other side. Yeah.
Yeah, it's like it was just a series of unfortunate events, honestly.
Yeah, it was a real shaping as a core memory for young Lamb.
Oh, absolutely. I have a lot of those.
That's why you have so much character, You were just people were breathing on you and all this stuff.
Yeah. What?
You were getting all these weird smells.
Mhm.
Yep, yep. They torture terrorists with smells.
Oh no. Oh no. Before we go,
Oh,
because we're reaching that
we
time
are
shortly.
indeed good eyes.
Um, I would like to say that first of all, I forgot to mark any of these clips
Damn.
because today I think I've talked the most today than I have in the last since we started this season.
Yep, yep,
Um,
yep.
but you will be happy to know that I've gotten us a few more listeners.
Oh, hi
Um,
everybody. Hi everybody that's
Shout
new.
out to them.
I
Y'all are
apologize for
baddies.
everything,
I apologize for
but
him.
at the same
I don't
time,
apologize for anything I've
I
said. Hey,
apologize for
whoa!
nothing.
And this is why we lose followers.
Have we lost followers? I don't look at the
I don't
analytics. I
know.
choose to stay ignorant.
That's fair. That sounds like a
They
you
say
problem.
ignorance is
But
bliss, Ignorance will take me to the mountaintop.
One of my friends, oh my god, one of my friends, the one who I shouted out last week, to watch his live streams,
Oh, yeah.
Dumplin. Yeah, so
XO underscore Dumplin XO underscore.
no, it's just zero.
Oh,
It's
sorry.
0 underscore Dumplin underscore 0.
Right, no
God,
X's, no kisses, only
you're a
hugs.
fake fan. Yeah. I think there's 0.
Yeah,
Anyways,
what about him?
it's taking me a second. He shouted us out on his live stream, which is pretty cool.
Hey.
And he calls me. Well, we'll talk randomly, and he'll bring up the podcast. Like, he actively listens to us whenever he's just vibing, and like, because he was telling me like all other podcasts, like I'll just have them playing, but like I actually listen to you guys, and I was like, that's kind of cool. And he said that he's making a spreadsheet of like stuff that he notices throughout the podcast that he
God.
listens to, and I don't know what he's noticed yet.
Spreadsheet.
But he was like, yeah, in this last episode, he's noticed something happen quite a few times, and I was like, what? Actually, don't tell me. I want to be surprised when you show it to me. And so we've also inspired him to do a lot more creative outlets, and he's thinking of, or he wants to do a podcast now because of us, which is pretty cool. And there was something else that was cool. He was saying, so his initials are MAC. And so he was like, if you ever have me as a guest, it could be lamb a la John with a side of Mac.
Oh, yeah, I like that.
And that'd be pretty cool.
As unnerving as it is that this guy is now collecting data on us.
I told him that it's really cool that he's doing that, and any kind of interaction and enjoyment he gets from it is good for me.
We get this dude on here, he's going to come out swinging with all the times I've said something wrong. I think I criticized his name last time, man.
You probably did. Yeah. He's going to listen to this and be like, oh, wow, they're talking. Oh, yeah, that's right.
Yep.
I told him to make to mark every time that you race bait.
Hey. That's not a me exclusive thing, all right?
You're right. It's not Black History Month anymore.
Yep.
So, anyways,
you don't get a buy. You don't get a pass.
But he was also saying that like the difference in like just quality from the beginning to now. And I was like, to be fair, I had a snowball and I was laying in his bed and he was on the other side of the room.
True. Yeah.
But he thought I was recording on my phone. That's how bad the quality was on my mic.
I could have told you. I told you I will never let you live that down.
Hey, shut up. I was trying to be innovative and I bought the snowball, okay?
Yep. Yeah.
And now look at me. I'm using the mic that my Nana bought me.
That's
for Christmas.
That's great. Yeah.
And it's kick ass. This is what I record everything on.
Yep. Now you just got to figure out how to not peak every time you get so excited.
Oh, I probably should just not get close to the microphone.
Get it a set distance away from you. You have like a little arm, or you're holding it, right?
No, it's just sitting on the desk.
Oh,
it's got a little tripod.
Okay.
I mean, I could talk like this, but then I'd probably sound far away from the mic.
Yeah, you do sound a little distant.
Oh, that's because I was away from the mic, but now I'm not.
All right. Well, this is a very successful crash landing of a finish, trying to get under an hour. We're trying. We're trying.
It's close. Listen. It's fine. If they listen to our longer things from the past, they're going to be fine with slightly over an hour.
Well, you know what? See, it's just disrespectful. It really is. It's disrespectful to the listener because I value your time, listener. You only have a certain amount of time in the day. Your ears are unoccupied, and here we are droning on and on and on and on and on and on and on. And just keeps going on and on.
Are you done?
And on and
are you done?
I don't know, man. Are we done? Are we done?
I don't know. You seem you're droning on and on and
am I droning on and on and on and on?
Hey, Jonathan.
Yeah,
Jonathan.
Yeah? What? Hello?
Jonathan, you are a menace. We can end.
Okay,
if that's what you want.
Well, should we? Because I think we have to put it to a vote every time that we do this. We've voted in the past.
No, we haven't.
Yeah, we have.
Have
How are
we?
you don't remember this? Every time I consult you
Listen,
right
how long have we
before,
been doing this?
I don't know, like years and years and years. It just goes
I think at
on
this
and
point,
on
oh my
and
god. I think at
on.
this point we've done enough for it to be one cohesive year with all of the podcasts
One
put together.
cohesive year. You think we've recorded? Wait,
No,
wait, hold on.
maybe
You think we've
maybe like
recorded
half a year.
hours in a year? You think we've
No, I'm talking
recorded
about each episode.
8,760 hours?
I'm talking about episodes. Like an episode every week. For every week we record an episode. That's our thing. But I was wrong. We've only done like 20 something episodes.
Yeah,
We've
I'm
done
just gonna
half a
end
year's
it.
worth of podcasts.